Okay, so I've always kept you guys updated with my health and everything that's going on, and Miss Maya is saying, Mom, I know you're stressed and anxious, and so she's been on my butt asking and helping because my anxiety's kind of through the roof. When I was on my YouTube live addressing comments and stuff that was being said regarding Trooper, I got a phone call in the middle of the live, which is where like the live kind of like froze up for a minute and it comes back in. My doctors just called me. So you guys know I posted the video last week of me redoing all of my dysautonomia testing. And they have called me back today telling me that they went ahead and made the decision to go ahead and place the Portacath into my chest. I'm gonna link some links below in the description if you guys aren't sure what that is, and that way you guys can look into it if you guys want. Sorry, Trooper, I just got done feeding him and he's in his crate, so he wants out. That's why he's whining in the background. So I know my mind. I don't know how to feel. Like, I'm trying really hard to have trust and faith in my medical team, because this has kind of been up in the air for a couple of years, but it's always been said we're not going to do it until we don't feel like there's any other option or any other choice. And so I've had years to think about it and try to wrap my head around the fact that at some point it was going to happen. But getting that phone call, knowing they're sending the referral to the surgeon, it's just making it a lot more real. And like, I'm trying really hard not to like break down and just like cry, because I keep doing that. I had to call my mama, of course, because you know, all of this started when I passed out for the very first time when I was like 13, 14 years old. And I just remembered I didn't feel good, and I got up in the middle of the night to get some cold water and I ended up laying on the floor in the kitchen, and the floor, it was hard floor. Good girl, Maya. She's tasking right now because my anxiety is so bad. And Trooper. So it was a scary time because like I remember like it was like really late or early in the morning, and my mom was like, Dominique, go back to bed. And I was like, I don't feel good, Mom, you know, like something's wrong. And she was like, baby, just like get up, like go back to bed, you gotta go back to bed. And so I stood up out of the kitchen floor and I went to walk back to my bedroom, and I just remember like getting really weak. My vision went black, and that was the last thing I remembered. My mom's side of the story is that I hit the floor hard, and she couldn't wake me up, and she called 911. And when she made the call, a family friend that was a police officer heard the call, and so this is coming from multiple people's like point of views. He heard the call, and he said that he wanted to take the call because he knew us. So he said, it's a family friend, like, I'm going. So he ended up showing up. I think he got there before the paramedics, and I was very in and out of it, but like I briefly kind of remember hearing him. His name was Eric, Mr. Eric. And I vaguely remember like hearing him like talking to me, trying to see if like I was okay, but I couldn't like really answer. Like that's like what I remember. Like I was just very in and out of it. And I remember like my mom like sounding like very distressed. The next thing I remember, I was on a stretcher in the ambulance. I was really kind of confused, wasn't 100% sure what was going on, and I was in and out of it really hard. We get to the ER, and the first thing they assumed was that, I was like this. I think I was 14 because, yeah, I think I was. I think I was 14, or I was about to turn 14. Anyway, 13, 14 years old. And they just assumed, because at the time I had black hair, I had my lip ring, like I wore like black skinny jeans, a lot of black and gray. I skateboarded back then. And so the first thing they thought is, oh, your teenage daughter is like on drugs. So that was the first thing they did, was thinking I was just on drugs and like overdosing on drugs or something. And so they ran, of course, a drug test and all that came back fine. And that pissed off my mom. And I do remember that. I don't remember how long we were there at the hospital, but because that whole night is very like blurry and I was very out of it. And so that was my very first time that I ever passed out. And so over the years, my mom took me to every specialist she could, from cardiologist to neurologist to other ones that I don't even remember. Like, my mom fought and fought and fought because she knew something was wrong with me. After that first fainting episode, things just started getting worse. And as I got older, my health just started getting worse, and we could never get a diagnosis. At one point, we were told, oh, it's like all in our head. It's just like anxiety, which, yes, I do have PTSD, but they were trying to say it was the anxiety from my PTSD. My mom knew that that's not what it was. And it wasn't until 2 days before I turned 21. So it was September 28th of 2018. Yes, September 28th of 2018. I was 20 years old. 2 days before I turned 21, that I finally went into the dysautonomia clinic and saw my specialist that I still see. It's the same doctor that is referring me out for the court. So that was 4 years ago. And she put me through all the tests, and she was like, yeah, you have dysautonomia, you have POTS. And we didn't realize then that I would continue to get worse, because with dysautonomia, a lot of people as they get older tend to get better, and some patients tend to get worse. And when I went back in last week for my retesting, just to see, how I'm really doing, because we know that like I've been struggling more, but we needed to see it like in the testing. That's Atlas, he's playing. And so after all that testing, they called me back today and said, okay, here's the plan, and this is what we think you need. So this has been many, many years of not only like struggling for the right diagnosis, but also trying to find the best treatment options. And it's been up in the air for a port for years, like it's been mentioned, and they've always been like, but we're gonna use that that's gonna be like our last like option if when we basically think that nothing else is gonna help, and that's what like our last choice. And so that time has come, and I don't know how to feel about it. So, of course, I had to call my mom, because my mom fought for me for years trying to figure out what was wrong. Like, my mom's always been, like, my number one supporter, and she was relieved when I got my diagnosis. And so anytime something happens, whether it's my medication changes or anything, like new doctors that I'm seeing, like I'm always updating my mom, because she fought for me so hard. Like, my battle was very much her battle. Like, it was her child, and I could imagine if it was my child going through it, like I wouldn't stop fighting until, my kid had the right diagnosis. Like, if I knew something was wrong, And so I can only imagine how my mom felt all those years fighting for me and nothing ever coming of it. And so my mom, as much as like I hate being diagnosed with something, it's also a relief, because then treatment options are available. sadly, with dysautonomia, there is no cure. It's just you have to just find treatments and just try to make it easier for your life. And like my mom, I still believe, like to this day, we were just on the phone and she was like I'm fighting this with you, baby. And she reminded me that they're not going to be doing this unless they think that it's what I really need. And she knows that I'm scared, but at the same time she thinks it's for the best and it's what I need, and if it's going to help me long term, then that's what I should do. And I'm very appreciative of the people in my life and my family that have always had my back and who were there for me. And of course, my husband, and Austin is happy about it because he knows that it's gonna help me, and so he's happy about it. But I don't know, I'm scared, I'm scared about it. And I feel like that's a normal reaction, to be anxious and scared. And I'm sorry, troopers ain't having it right now. And I don't know, I'm conflicted with a lot of emotions, and I'm scared. I think it's the anxiety and everything else, and I don't know what to expect, but I'm scared. And I am thankful for my medical team. I am thankful for everything they have done for me, and they've never led me astray before. And it's thanks to my doctor, Dr. Moore. It is thanks to her that I got my diagnosis, and she has been the one who's been treating me for the past 4 years. And so if she truly believes at this point that this is what I need, then I'm gonna trust her, because she is the one doctor, she will not just give ports out. She doesn't, she literally only sends that referral when she thinks that there's no other option, and that's what you need long term. And so as scared as I am, and yeah, I could say no, but as scared as I am, I've got to have faith in my medical team that this is what's best and that it's all going to be okay in the end. I told myself I wasn't going to cry, but I'm conflicted in feelings. It's a relief to know that, okay, I can get this and it will make my life easier and I will start feeling better. That's the plan, is that's going to help me feel better. But it's scary, it's still a surgery. It's still having a device implanted under my skin, under my chest, that's connected to a vein that connects to my heart. And there's always risk of infection from any surgery, but with a port, it's long term. If it's not taken care of just right, there's a high risk of infection at any point. And I'm scared, okay? I'm just scared, but I'm trying really hard to just pray and have faith in God, have faith in my medical team, and just know that I've got to do what I've got to do to be the best mom that I can be for my kids. And as I say this, I have my little baby, my 10-month-old. You're not so little anymore, buddy. He's staring right at me with the biggest smile on his face, standing up. And this is what I'm looking at right now. And yeah, hi, baby. And I've got to be the best I can be for my kids. And if this is what my medical team thinks is what's best, then I'm going to do it, no matter how scared I am, because I can't take care of my kids the way that I need to, or to the best of my capabilities, if I don't do this. And if I do this, it gives me more relief from being asymptomatic, and it's gonna help me, which means that I'm gonna be able to be better for my kids. And I've got to get Trooper out because he won't stop. And I'm just, I don't know, I'm scared. And I think that's like an usual reaction. Like, I think that's pretty normal. And like, I'm super thankful for my mom, because like, my mom is always like number one on my side. And so I'm happy, that, you know, I talked to her, because she did make me feel so much better. All right, Maya, off the couch, baby girl. And it's just scary. Hi, Trooper. It's just scary. And so, I don't know. No, True. Bye, bud. I'm scared, okay? So, anyway, here's the life update. They sent the referral out to the surgeon, and we will see. Trooper's climbing up in my lap. Hi, buddy. And so I'm just gonna have faith and trust, and I'm just gonna pray and try not to look at this as a bad thing, and try to look at it as a good thing, because hi, Trooper. Hi, baby. Yeah. And I'm just gonna try to have faith that this is the right choice and the right thing. And like, yeah, I could still say no, but if my medical team believes that it's gonna make me feel better to where I can be better for my kids, like, that's it. You know, I gotta do what I gotta do as a mom. I gotta put my kids first, yes. And if I'm not the best I can be health-wise, then how am I supposed to, you know, take care of my kids the way that I should be able to? I mean, they're already taken care of, but like, I'm exhausted and I don't feel good and it's hard. So if there's a way to make it easier for me to feel better so that I can take care of my kids better and easier, oh my gosh, Trooper, look at you. Then it's kind of like, what's my choice even supposed to be, you know? So here's that update. I'm gonna try to Usopp and breathe. And now here comes Maya. And so, Trooper, you love bug. I'm just gonna try to have faith and have trust, and I'll keep you guys updated along the way, and just thoughts and prayers would be welcomed. So anyway, I'm gonna hop off here. I've got both of these guys right here. Trooper's literally all the way in my lap right now, like being such a sweet love bug in my mind. They're like, they both like want love and attention right now. Trooper. They're so silly. So yeah, anyway, I love you guys, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.